All right, folks, something massive just happened to silver. It just broke out of the 45-year cup and handle. That is massive. We're going to be talking about what that means and why this person says that he projects silver hitting $370 an ounce since it just broke out of this 45-year cup and handle. Do I think silver's about to hit $370 an ounce? No, but will it eventually? It could. The whole point is, that's not the point. The whole point is silver literally just broke out of a 45-year cup and handle, and this is extremely bullish from a technical, analytical chart perspective. Not theory, speculation, assumptions, bias, or any of that. It literally just did. So we're going to discuss what that means. First and foremost, thank you for tuning into your daily silver news. My name is Silver Slayer. And if you want the latest information on what's happening across the globe and how that affects the price of precious metals on a daily basis, make sure you click subscribe. If you're going to click subscribe, click the bell, click all, or you'll only sometimes get notified when I post, or maybe even never. Even if you're subscribed, you could have no notifications on. So make sure you click the bell and click all. If you want to purchase some of this stuff, send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Slayer sent you. We have gold, silver, and platinum specials. We have a massive inventory, all very good prices. So let's talk about this. Breaking out of the 45-year base. Silver's $370 target from leading technical analysts. Global demand and geopolitical risk push silver to the brink. Latecomers will 100% miss the greatest bull run of the century. Bookmark this article. Now, to say it's going to be the greatest bull run of the century is huge. Is he comparing that to just silver's bull run, or maybe precious metals like gold and silver? Or is he talking about Bitcoin? Because what Bitcoin did in 2016 is very impressive, and I couldn't imagine anything doing. I mean, when I was telling people to buy Bitcoin, it was $800. Now Bitcoin's at like $112,000. So if we're saying that silver is going to do something greater than that, the greatest bull run in the century, meaning period, then we're talking about some massive, major prices. Who knows if he meant that or just silver. Regardless, we do know one thing, that if you aren't investing into silver right now, you will be wishing you could build a time machine, go back to October 1st, 2025, and pay these prices. That's why he says bookmark this article. Or you could just bookmark this video. So, this person says, Grady's from Commodities TA Cycles, he tweeted, yesterday was the last day of the quarter, means silver has now broken out above the 45-year cup and handle. My target since 2019 is $370, so it begins. So here is the mother of all legit looking probable cup and handles, the breakout. Now, he's saying three where? Meaning 300 and something, I'm assuming, because he says $41.50 times 900% is 370. He's saying the 903% comes from this 45-year chart. I don't know. I'm not a chart guy, but I do know that this cup and handle is something that you don't see very often, if ever, and it's just silver is just ticking time bomb. So you heard us say this dozens of times leading up to this historical breakout. Grady is among the world's best chartists. Wonder what Tavi Costa thinks. Let's see. Tavi Costa also tweeted 12 hours. Silver just reached its highest quarterly close in history. Game on. So all of these chart guys are technically saying, from the numbers, that silver's about to do something massive. Generational breakout, silver's technical regime shift. The recent technical breakout in silver, characterized by a decisive monthly close above the 45-year cup and handle formation, it's like an 11-year handle, by the way, represents a watershed moment within the domain of commodities analysis. This event is not merely a short-term fluctuation, rather it signals a regime change for silver with profound implications for the established equilibrium and pricing mechanisms of the market. Is it reasonable, therefore, to regard the current price below $50 as reflective of fair value when prevailing technical data suggests the threshold for the next secular revaluation has already been breached? And no, I mean, if we already broke above that, and it's similar to, let's say, the $50 resistance level. Once we break above that, it's game on. There's no price resistance between that and $100. We don't know what's going to happen. Underlying structure, 4 decades of accumulation. And that's the point. It's like a volcano. It keeps hitting its head against $50. And as decades go on, it's just more magma building up in that volcano. So when it does break 50, it's explosive. Historically, the cup and handle pattern observed in silver extends back to 1980, incorporating episodes of sharp appreciation and sustained declines. This multi-decade formation, usually you hear multi-year formation, this is a multi-decade formation, evidences not only a persistent resistance, but also a gradual accumulation of capital, institutional interest, and long-term investor conviction. Does this degree of technical compression not imply that the asset is now poised for disproportionate movement consistent with the principle that the wider the base, the higher in space? I mean, and another thing is 90% of the movement happens the last 10% of the leg. Remember that as well. Quantitative cascade, algorithmic momentum, and capital rotation. The present breakout above historic resistance is likely to initiate a repricing cascade throughout global capital flows and trading models. Decades of technical compression beneath $50 have fostered an environment ripe for extensive momentum-based strategies and systematic algorithmic engagement. With technical confirmation in place, what rational basis remains for postponing exposure to a market where both discretionary actors and machine-driven quantitative models may be compelled to rotate significantly into long positions? What are the consequences for those who defer entry until prices have already doubled or tripled? I mean, especially with what's at stake here, right? We're not just saying invest into silver to get rich. That's a side effect of it, but we're saying it to preserve your wealth against a collapsing dollar. That's the important part about this. It's not like crypto where it's like, oh, just do this, with just because you can make money. No, this is something very serious to protect your wealth as the centralized banks are failing and the system is collapsing right before our eyes. This is a way to protect yourself, a safe haven asset, right? It's called a safe haven for a reason. So that's the important part about this. It's not just about getting rich. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's not about that. It's preserving your wealth. It's wealth preservation against a decaying dollar that's already lost 98% of its purchasing power. So structural bull market, the scope of revaluation. It must be emphasized that multi-generational chart patterns of this nature typically precede new structural cycles within commodities markets, often enduring for years or substantially longer. Projections predicated on the depth and longevity of the current base and articulated by analysts such as Grady suggest that silver may be in the early stages of a revaluation with targets extending far beyond prevailing levels, for example, $370 and higher. Will investors continue to anchor expectations to past valuation regimes? I mean, that's the thing is a lot of people are stuck in this bias of, oh, silver's just going to stay around $30 or $40. It's never going to hit 50. It's never ever going to hit 100. And if you say that, you're a silver pumper. Those people are very short-sighted and they're missing the bigger picture. I'm not planning on selling if I ever do for another 15, 20 years, right? So $370 doesn't sound crazy when you're looking that far ahead. If you're just thinking from a 6-month or a year-based perspective, then yeah, that sounds stupid, which it might not even be that stupid. But you get what I'm saying. This is a long haul. Preservation wealth. This is a long haul. Silver stackers are long haulers, right? This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. So when we talk about these prices, at least when I talk about these prices, I'm looking at it from a long-term perspective. So, uh, anyways, will investors continue to anchor expectations, right? Well, are you thinking closed-minded, not looking at the bigger picture? So immediate opportunity, evaluating actions versus stasis. In light of these factors, the question for the serious commodities participant is not whether a transition is imminent, but rather how best to respond now that the pattern's resolution is underway. Is the cost of acting today with silver below 50 commensurate with risks of stasis, given the deferred action may require engagement at multiples above current market values? In this context, does risk management not demand immediate reallocation before the consequences of technical confirmation become universally recognized by institutional and retail actors alike? And when all of that money starts flowing in, that's a difference. Silver's a very small market, much smaller than gold. If even 1% of the gold market goes into silver, that could be a game changer. But then factor in all the other people when silver becomes more mainstream. I mean, that alone, regardless of all the other, I mean, we're talking about something massive, folks. Don't want to miss out. Technical resolution, risk reward, and the FOMO threshold. The implications for both existing holders and those considering entry are clear. Technical evidence, algorithmic positioning, and historical precedent all suggest the opportunity presented by this breakout is both rare and transformative, right? And are there risks of inaction, missing out on what could be a once-in-a-generation repricing event? I mean, and think about it. Like, imagine if you knew about silver, you knew about all of this happening, and you still didn't do anything. And then it explodes. You're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? It was so obvious. It was so obvious. And nothing else has a 45-year cup and handle. Are you going to wait another 45 years for for something to, an opportunity like this to arise again? Because I doubt it will. We're talking about elements on the periodic table here, folks. Silver isn't made in the Earth's crust. It comes here from asteroids and comets, meteors. It's the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity. Silver purifies water. Water is the most pure thing in the entire universe. Silver purifies it. Think about that. Silver purifies the most pure thing in the universe. Think about that for a second. It's magical. It's God's money. It's wealth. Nothing else, especially given that there's manipulation going on, nothing else is ever going to match this. Forget about getting rich, just period. Preserving your wealth too. You don't want to miss out. You want to get it. And I can safely say that because I'm helping you protect your wealth. The dollar is going to keep failing. So even if you listen to me, you might not even get rich, but you'll at least not be screwed. Your money won't be burning away in your bank account at least, right? But on top of that, there's a lot of opportunity as well. I mean, it is crazy. And look at it like this. There's no new silver discoveries. No large-scale projects have advanced. I mean, we're talking about a massive silver shortage. Wow, folks. Do not miss out. Do not miss out. The people that don't even know about silver, they won't be hit as hard when it explodes because they didn't even know. But if you knew and you still didn't, that's going to burn. Like if you knew about Bitcoin, if you didn't like when I was telling people to buy Bitcoin at $800 back then and they said I was stupid or they said no, hell no, why would I do that? Those people probably really regret not listening to me compared to those that had no idea what Bitcoin was. It doesn't hurt as bad because you didn't even know you had the choice. But those that knew and still didn't, those are the ones that are going to be really kicking themselves in the butt. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go check out the video I posted earlier today and the video I posted yesterday. Two very similar but different situations happened. China's government shut down yesterday, pushing silver higher. For holiday reasons, their government shut down. Today, the U.S. government shut down for a completely different reason, but that also pushed silver higher. So governments from China on opposite sides of the world, both governments shut down, both governments doing that act has pushed silver higher. Crazy. Ironic or pattern recognition? You tell me. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. From now on, every single month on the 31st, you have a chance to win silver, a continuous silver giveaway. Well, if you become a member of the Secret Silver Society on my Patreon, you have that opportunity. So every single month, you have something exciting to look forward to, which would be winning silver. On top of that, you'll have access to a live chat room with other silver stackers where you can post pictures and chat, just hang out with everyone, and have early access to my videos along with supporting me. If this is something you'd like to do, then come join my Patreon. It's patreon.com/silverslayer. Upon joining, you'll be given a monthly raffle ticket and instant access to that chat room. Go introduce yourself. Everyone is super nice, and it's more personal and intimate than a YouTube comment section. Folks, I'm so excited to announce that I've partnered with American medical experts whose purpose is helping veterans get the medical benefits that they truly deserve. Over 17 million veterans aren't receiving their full benefits, and if this is you or someone you know, then act now. American medical experts are offering free consultations through our med team to see how we can help. The med team offers board-certified doctors who have experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical evidence for services like mental health as well. Some of these include your Nexus letter, your DBQs, your TDIUs, your AAs, and more. I want to personally thank American medical experts for helping veterans, but also giving me an opportunity to help veterans as well. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment to get a free consultation through our med team. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.